Welcome to Bellingham Voices. I'm Marie Marchand. My guest today is Isabel Meaker. Isabel is the Special Assistant to the Superintendent for Family Engagement with the Bellingham School District. Welcome to the show, Isabel.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. And your job title is certainly a mouthful to say. And you know what? It gives me the impression that as a leader, you have a lot to do, that you're super busy with the title like that.
Yeah, maybe that was the reason for the title. I never put those two together. Yeah, quite busy. Mm-hmm. Lots of work, but really great work, really rewarding work. So.
Rewarding, yeah. And you have a degree in business from a university in Dominican Republic, and then also from Western Washington University, you have a Spanish degree. So I'm wondering, what brought you to Bellingham?
From the Dominican Republic, everybody goes to New York. So my family came to New York, and I came to New York like a couple of years after my siblings. I'm not a big city person. It was too much, too big. My sister by that time was here in Bellingham, and she said, this is a small town, and it's almost 22 years ago. And she said, you will love it. And funny enough, one of the things that I remember clearly, she said, the schools are so good. So I have my little one, she was a year and a half then. But she said, well, you're gonna have to learn English. There is nobody here that speaks Spanish. So that's how I came to Bellingham, September 1995.
And when you started with the school district, I heard that you were a VISTA volunteer.
Yep. I was at AmeriCorps, came about 8 years ago. It was a partnership between Western Washington University, Woodring College of Education, and Shuksan Middle School. So they were needing somebody to be a family liaison for the Latino families. And I was home. I was just done with my Spanish degree because I went to Western thinking that I was going to be a teacher. I usually tell the teachers, like, you guys are my heroes. I got chickened out and went a different route. So I got an email from one of my professors at Western that said, they're looking for somebody, this is the work. And I was one of those parents a few years before that was kind of afraid of going to school. My English wasn't, so I thought that was perfect for me to help parents connect with the schools.
I'm really glad you stayed, because when we talked before the show, you were saying that after a year, it was a little overwhelming with too much work and you weren't sure you were going to go back. Yeah. Tell us about the program and a little bit about what you do there.
So when I started, it was, like you say, it was an AmeriCorps. It was just actually a part-time, almost, and very soon I realized this is huge. This is a huge amount of work. The families, it was a huge need to get for the families to get connected with the school. But another surprise that I got was, like, I was thinking from the parent perspective. It's like, I want the parents to come to the school. And what I realized pretty quick is the staff was really anxious to connect with the parents. So that was really, really fun, really good to see. Shuksan has a tremendous staff, and they were really like, oh my gosh, now you're here. So, but it was really hard to see the need, and I was in AmeriCorps, and those are very limited. So I felt like this is bigger than what I can do, and with the amount of time that I was spending there. But I was in my second year when Dr. Baker came, and he really had a bigger vision for the work than I did. I was maybe too deep into the work, and he came and he saw part of the work that I was doing through the AmeriCorps, and he said this work needs to be taken district-wide. I was supporting families in other schools, but it was beyond what I was supposed to do. But it's really hard to see the need and then just ignore it. So I was supporting families a little bit with other, and in the district, but he really came and has been a huge support. We go to conferences where nationally we talk and with other people that are doing the kind of work that we're doing. And I say we now, as a before I used to joke when I started, because I say my department, and it was me,
just you.
So, but now it's 6. We have a team of 6 in our department, and it's just having the support from the district is not as common as I thought. We are really lucky, because when I talk with other people and other places, they usually say, "What? You guys have what? Doing what?" They say our district doesn't support that kind of work. They are because it's easy for the districts to say, well, we have the test scores and the graduation rate, and those are the kind of things where they're gonna invest. But we're really lucky that we have the vision and the support from the district that actually connecting what is happening at home with what we are doing in school, and vice versa. The parents need to know what we are doing, so then we can get their support. So we truly believe in that partnership, and we put the support behind. So.
Has Shuksan Middle School become somewhat of a center of support for the whole district when students are newly enrolling and they're from immigrant families?
So the work started at Shuksan, like I mentioned before. Shuksan is so centrally located. A lot of our families are living around that area, so naturally it's the area where we have the biggest group of family. Another thing is that because the families know each other, so they bring, there's like, okay, there is this, family resource center where we can get help with, the paperwork. I mean, it's huge, thick, just the registration packet for our families. So naturally, the families come to us. And it just has been growing and growing. And Shuksan, when we have the Family Resource Center, is a portable building next to Shuksan. But like I say, Shuksan has been the beginning, and the staff there is so supportive, and it's just fun at Shuksan.
What kind of challenges are the families facing?
So that's the hard part. Like I said before, it was hard to see the challenges, the need, and not having the support at the beginning, because a lot of our families come here, and one huge barrier is the language. One of the things why we decided that the Family Resource Center was a good idea is because a lot of the time the families, it's like, oh yeah, go to this agency or go to this place, but if they don't have somebody there that speaks Spanish, then it's hard for them to access those resources. So we became that bridge. Our families, the language barrier is a lot of our families face. Believe it or not, in our nice Bellingham, they feel like some people are discriminating, and sometimes one of the things that we have worked hard in our district is that, because sometimes the way we respond, we may think we are just, a person may just be having a difficult day and they're just, but if you take the time and think, if that person have faced any discrimination at any time in their life, they feel this person doesn't want me here. And so a lot of the families are pretty shy to go out in the community, because if they get any reaction like that, it's not just like maybe for you and maybe for me, it's just like, oh, that person is too busy or is having a hard day. But when we react certain way, we, our families may take it that way. So those, a lot of our families that are moving into our district right now are coming with very little. The basic thing. One of the things that we realized pretty quick after we started doing home visits was the fact that some families didn't even have beds. And they were not asking for the help, but sometimes we talk to a parent and say, your son or your daughter is falling asleep in class, and sure enough, if they're sleeping on the floor, what kind of night are they having to be able to come the next day to school and perform? So, you may be surprised, and a lot of people in the community, when we talk to them about this is, because we go into the homes and we see what's happening, and when we have talked to some people in the community, they're like, in Bellingham? This is happening in Bellingham. We have families that don't have enough to eat. We have families that don't have any furniture. We go into the house and they maybe have one chair. And it's easy for regular people in Bellingham to think that, no, that's not happening in Bellingham, and it is. So we have undocumented families that have, students that were brought here when they were babies, and now they are getting to be older and they have to face the fact that they don't have a social security number to apply for financial aid, to apply for a job. So it goes from huge things to little things.
One thing that's inspiring that you had been telling me about earlier is that there's a person in the community who asked to go on a house visit with you and then ended up donating beds.
Yeah, so Ellie Samuels from Samuels Furniture in Ferndale, he, after the election, felt that we as a community in Bellingham need to do a little more for our immigrant families. So a lot of the families that we work with are immigrants. They come from Mexico, Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador. So we got connected with him. He just came, somebody say, oh, this is some people that are doing this with the Bellingham School District. So he came to visit our Family Resource Center, and he say, well, I hear you, but is it okay if I come with you to a home visit? And I think he did 2 or 3 home visits. And he's like, we need to do something about this. So he has been helping us with beds, with financially. He has provided some support. And just last Sunday, we had our 3rd Latino Education Summit. And this is the first time we were able to offer scholarships for our Latino students. So we had 5 scholarships, and he was, one of the donors that made that possible. So
that's
really
wonderful.
Yeah, really empowering for our kids, and it was a really neat thing. So he has been, I say, our guardian angel this year, because we have been able to support quite a few families with the support of, he literally provide his guys, his employees have come and move furniture from a donor to a house that needed, or he has some, when people are buying brand new furniture, they may have old furniture that they wanted to donate. So he made all that possible this year, so it's been great.
That must be an inspiring and rewarding part of it, when you realize how generous people are in the community.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about Bellingham. My sister, like I say, when one of the things that she say, people are nice in Bellingham. You will like it, and it has been so amazing to see how incredible the Bellingham community is.
That's great.
Yeah.
You do presentations around the community, and I love the story, so that's why I'm asking this question. You recently gave a presentation at Options High School. So tell us what your presence resulted in there.
So it was interesting. I got invited by the social studies teacher. They were talking about immigration and what are the families that are coming here now. I think they were, that's beyond, but they were talking about, I think, back in the days, the families that came, but to today, who's coming to our community. And so they invited me to talk about the families that we are getting right now. And so I went thinking that I was going to be talking about, oh yeah, these are the families, and so the conversation, we actually went into a completely different route, and we started talking. The kids were very interested in knowing what are the needs, and what can we do to help. And that was amazing. They, like I said, the entire time went into that because that's what they wanted to know. So after a few days, the teacher called me and she said, the kids are ready. They want to do something, so we're going to do a garage sale. And we wanted to do all the proceeds to go to the Family Resource Center. So they, like I said, that was it. I had a couple of emails with the teacher. I was so busy with other things that I feel guilty that I didn't do anything. But they organized it, they promoted it, they asked for the donation of things from people, and they had it on a day that I actually was at a conference, so I wasn't even here. And they just call and say, we have a check for you guys. Come and get your check. So we did a nice little assembly and talk again with the kids. It was just, again, another example of how amazing is the Bellingham community. And this is an example from from our own kids, helping other kids.
I love that it was student initiated and student led. And I donated stuff, and then I went there that day, and the whole staff was there, the teachers, the principal. And I just want to give a plug for Options High School because I really respect the institution and I adore it. The principal, Byron Gerard, is a great leader. And the staff and the teachers, they care so much. They're experts in their subject matters. And I'm just really happy they're getting a new building.
Isn't that amazing? I got the chance to go on tour, and they are going like 24 hours a day. But I'm just so happy that they're going to get this amazing building. And again, another thing, our community support, the building of that new school. And the part that I'm very excited about is going to be very centrally located, and it's being built as a community school. So I think we're going to have plenty of space that the community is going to be able to use. So I'm excited about, because that's what makes Shuksan kind of amazing too, is the way that the school is built. The community can utilize the part, like the library, the gym, that area. And I say we need to build more schools that way, so the community can have access, because this is not our school, this is our community space. And it worked, when people can come to the school and have fun and do something that is then is community and family engagement in an easy way.
It's wonderful. So you had talked earlier about Dr. Greg Baker's influence on the program, and you alluded to his influence on you as an individual. I happened to email his office and just mention that I would be interviewing you, and he sent some remarks back that I'd like to read. Isabel Meaker is one of the heroes of our community. Isabel is focused on one thing: serving the kids and families of our community, particularly those who are often underserved, marginalized, and have great challenges. While knowing these students and families have great needs, Isabel sees the strengths in each and works to empower, educate, and support them. The Bellingham Promise states that all children should be loved and that all children can achieve at high levels. Isabel believes this and works to make this a reality for so many in our community. We are fortunate here in Bellingham to have the service of such an outstanding and courageous leader.
I have to say about that is it's a team work, and everything that was said there, that's how everybody in the district feel. And the beautiful thing is that it's not just our district. Our Bellingham Promise is the strategic plan that we have that is actually a collective commitment for the entire community. And I just think that the work that we are doing is putting that promise in action. Because people, for example, like you may be busy with other work, but when we are seeing the need and we have the support, I mean, like you say, you support the grass cell. But that's all of us together. I just feel extremely lucky. I tell people I get the maybe it's a huge group of people working and doing things here, and then I get to see the face of the families. I get to see the face of that student. I get to see the result of that huge effort. So then I get all the credit. But there's a lot of people, including, like I said before, the support of the community. Bellingham is amazing. The support, I'm telling you because I had so many conversations with people from other districts, and it would be impossible if the district doesn't make this a priority and say, this is important to us. Even yesterday, I was at the Equity Conference in Seattle, and I got a couple of emails from people that I met, and they want to know, it's like, how are they funding this? In my district, they say that there is no money to have people doing this work. And they cannot believe that we have a department of 6 people working with the families. And I will say it's beyond 6 people. Everybody in the district owns a little piece of it. This is not, we are just maybe the people, the soldiers in the ground, but even our superintendent, one time, I always remember this because it was interesting. It was like a few days before Christmas, and we had a family that needed a Christmas, that the kids were saying, we don't gonna have a Christmas tree. And I happened to mention it casually at the district office, and sure enough, I got Dr. Baker calling me. I'm right here, can you guide me, where is this? He went, it was one of our trailer community in Samishway, and he was having a hard time finding the trailer where this family was living, because he had a Christmas tree on his car for that family. So this is
moving.
Yeah, and I can tell you tons of stories. Our assistant superintendent, our deputy superintendent, delivering couches.
Wow.
Yeah. One time I remember we had a family that was living on a mom and 4 kids living in a van. And so I think Opportunity Council helped mom get an apartment. So, but there was very little furniture. So we helped the family get furniture. And then I gotta go help mom kind of organize this new place. And when I walked in, it was our assistant superintendent, his wife, his kids, making beds. So it is it's everybody.
Oh my gosh, it's system-wide that people are loving, as the Bellingham Promise said.
Yeah.
You've been so inspiring today and enlightening us as to the plight of people and also the hope that you're providing. So thank you so much for joining us, Isabel. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on Bellingham Voices, and we'll see you next time. Take care.